Okay, so this is something I'd probably have to actually go back and double check, but I think for the first time since like really doing my channel and having my Car Talk Thursdays, I believe this is the first time where December 25th has fallen on a Thursday. So, number one, Merry Christmas. Just Merry Christmas Talk Thursday. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this video is gonna be kind of like multiple things in one. Because, like, number one, it's Christmas. So, like, I want to give some, like, I kind of want to just talk about the season and, like, my seasonal vibe and, you know, I kind of give some Christmas wishes to people. Number two, it's, well, a Thursday. So, it's like, here's my regular Thursday check-in. Also, it would be the last Thursday of the month. So, there's the looking back on December, looking ahead to the next month, January. I'm like, it's also the last Thursday of the year. So, do I kind of want to talk about my year and then talk about next year as well? Or do I just save that till next week, which is probably more fitting because that should be New Year's Day? We'll see. It's just, there's a lot in this. But it is important to start with just Merry Christmas. And whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a fantastic day, whether you're by yourself or you're with loved ones. Maybe you lost some people this year that you really care about, and it makes this holiday season particularly difficult. And if so, I'm sorry for your loss. But I hope this season has been kind to you, and that you do have people in your life that could never fill that void, obviously, but just make it a little less difficult. Me personally, at least this season, I'm lucky enough to not have to go through that. But I remember last year, I had a few friends who were dealing with some grief. Two of them, I believe, were pretty recent, and I remember extending those wishes to them, and kind of want to do the same here for anyone who happens to be watching. I haven't felt particularly Christmassy this year. And not in like a very, it was weird because it's not in a Grinchy way, or I'm just like, the nice. But not necessarily a Charlie Brown way either, where I'm like, I don't get it, Linus. Like, I don't know what Christmas is all about. Like, I just feel depressed. I feel like I'm surrounded by commercialism, although there's some elements of that too. I don't remember how much I actually said it on the channel, but I know I've complained about, like, dude, it's still October. Why am I seeing, like, ads for Christmas shopping and, like, Black Friday? Halloween's not done yet. Like, I don't think about, like, I try to not think about Christmas until after Thanksgiving. We're not even in the month of Thanksgiving yet. What are we doing? Like, there's, like, I've complained about that. Like, that's a thing. But how do I say this? Like, this might sound, like, bad out loud, but in context, not that bad. It's just kind of like being a product of my environment right now. Like, number one, it's 60 degrees out right now. It's, like, there was a nice little brisk wind when I walked outside. But aside from that, it's not particularly cold. Like, I'm wearing my skeleton sweater, which is really warm, and honestly, I feel a little overdressed wearing it. It's like, I'm glad I'm wearing it for Christmas, but I'm also like, I'll probably change into something more comfortable after this. What was it? Yesterday it was like 70 degrees. It was really nice, but it didn't feel like Christmas Eve. There's maybe been a couple days that's just this month, but like in the past couple weeks, I'm like, okay, yeah, like today's cold. Today feels like winter. But for the most part, no. there's no snow. Which, I mean, it doesn't need to be snowy to be Christmas. But, I think it was the year that we moved here. It was, what was that? That was 09. It was the end of 09, then start of 2010. It was the worst storm they'd had in years, and everyone assured us trust us, this is really bad, but it's never this bad. And then the next year was worse. But then after that, it was, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. I remember last year there was a lot of snow, but I don't remember how I don't remember how snowy it was around Christmas. I think it was, because I remember January was pretty bad in terms of that. I just remember, we getting snowed in a lot. But, to my point, just in terms of, the weather, have not really felt it. In terms of, Christmas decorations. So, I've seen a good amount. But, I don't know, I feel like there's some places where I'm okay, I'll see a nice amount of houses decorated, and then other places where I just kind of don't. I have not heard a lot of Christmas music, because I just have Sirius XM radio, so I'm not okay, well, my favorite channels have been taken over by Christmas music, and I'm hearing it everywhere, and even when I, go to a store, I think I was in Walmart yesterday or the day before, re-upping on water, and I don't remember hearing Christmas music. And then, if I go into, a restaurant, whether it's, a more kind of fast foody place, or, a sit-down, I'm not hearing Christmas music either. And then, in terms of Christmas specials, I've watched 2. And I watched them last night. Because, yeah, where I am at right now, I don't have cable and I don't have local channels. So it's not all right, well, let's just go down the list. Ooh, Rudolph's on CBS. Oh, Charlie Brown's on ABC. Which is something that does help me with that. Where I guess, how do I want to say it? I don't often go super out of my way to watch Christmas specials or listen to Christmas music, but I'm happy when they're there, I guess. I guess I'll put it another way. It's I don't really break my routine to do it, but if I'm just relaxing and it's there, I'm happy to engage. And so it's oh, half of these, I don't even know where I'm supposed to find them, rather than just, hey, look, it's ABC Family. They're just going to be playing Christmas movies for, all month. I tried watching Home Alone yesterday. I was oh, I think it's on Disney, and I don't think we have Disney here, so oops, I guess I gotta skip it. Where's Charlie Brown? Oh, it's on Prime Video. But you need to have, a special subscription. Oh, but it's on Apple. I don't have Apple. It kind of does get back into that commercialization of Christmas bit, but it's kind of annoying. But the 2 that I did watch were, I watched The Grinch, I watched the original animated Grinch, and I did watch Charlie Brown, because I found it on Twitter. What else is really, Christmassy? I'm planning to go seeing my folks later, and I don't really know what we're gonna do. I assume we're gonna have some, Christmas meal, but might be kind of it. I have been buying presents for my friends. That's probably the most Christmassy I've felt. And some of it has been okay, I have an idea for a gift, I'm going to go get it. But a lot of it was just, what is something that you would like or need? And a couple of my friends, with 2 people, 2 completely different people, had a conversation that was okay, I want to get you something, what should I get you? He's you don't have to get me anything. I know I don't have to get you anything, but I want to get you something. What should I get you? What's something you need? Socks. And like, to be fair, like, I'm not trying to make fun of that answer because that's a perfectly legitimate answer. Socks is just kind of one of those things that, yeah, we do often need, but don't always like re-up on. Oh gosh, there's this one time I had a sock that was so bad, like the hole was so big, I could fit my whole like foot through it and then hold it, like wear it around my ankle. It was like a party trick that I had. That sock was so bad. But it was just kind of funny to me that, number one, like two different friends of mine were like, no, yeah, just get me socks. But also, I remember as a kid, gosh, how old was I? I want to say like 11-ish. We had a Christmas and my sister was like, okay, I got you something. You cannot open this present until I wake up because I want to see your reaction. And it was like a fuzzy pair of like pink socks. And I think there was something else that was with the gift too, where she was like, okay, like I was just kind of trolling you, here's your actual gift. But I just remember that, like, yeah, as a kid, that was the worst thing ever. It's like, why are you getting me socks? And now as an adult, if someone gave me socks, I'd be like, thank you. This is actually really nice. I appreciate that. But, like, aside from that, because of, like, the weather and, like, I'm not hearing music, I'm not getting specials, and, like, a lot of places, like, oh, I don't see decorations. Like, I'm just not super feeling that aspect, you know? But I don't feel super grumpy, and generally, I don't feel super depressed. But I think that's kind of part of it. I've talked a bit about the situation with our house, where, short version, it is going under like heavy renovation, and not just like, oh yeah, like let's add another wing, and it's more of, oh look, mold. Like it's important shit that needed to be done ASAP, and we had just learned, I think a couple days ago, that it's gonna be even a bit more extensive than we think. So it sounds like we're gonna be displaced until March. And so there's that too. I'm like, it's Christmas and I don't get to be in my house. I haven't been in my house since like early to mid-November. Like I said, like I'm gonna go see my parents, but it's not that cool. I'm gonna go to my parents' house and blah blah blah. It's yeah, I'm gonna go to my parents' hotel room, which doesn't feel like particularly Christmassy. But at the same time, I'm glad we at least, like, there's at least a hotel room. Like, I've been sleeping on a friend's couch for a couple months now. It looks like it's going to be a few more months. But I'm happy I have a couch to sleep on. And that's the thing, you know? Like, I'm not trying to complain, because I know my situation could be far, far worse. And I am so grateful that it's not. But there are some things just in the situation I find like frustrating and annoying. But I'm also trying to do my best. And there's something kind of Christmassy about that. Just like, I want to be appreciative of what I have. I want to be appreciative of who I have. You know, of my family, of my friends. And I want to show that, whether it's just through like sending them some love, giving them a present, or just being present myself and trying to interact with people, you know? Anyways, sorry. But I said I watched two specials, The Grinch and Charlie Brown. And at some point I hope to watch this, as it's one of my favorite movies ever. But those two were important for me to watch. I think as a kid, A Christmas Story was probably my favorite Christmas movie. And it's like still up there. I really, really enjoy it. But as an adult, I feel like it's probably either The Grinch or Charlie Brown. And For the Grinch, there's a lot to like about it. I like the song, I like the animation, I love the narration, and just, just the way he describes this dude is just so fun, and just, I don't know, everything about the Grinch, like, how do I want to say this? Like, if you never heard the word Grinch, this is probably exactly what you would imagine he would look like, sound like, how he would move, etc. Like, Dr. Seuss just picked the best word, like, picked the best word possible to describe this thing. And I love it. Like, that one shot where, like, he's looking down and he's, like, I love that angle. Like, there's so much good in it. But it is the ending. And it's that moment where, he's like, I've stolen Christmas, all the food, all the presents, all the decorations, all the noise. And I can't wait for all those who's down in Whoville to cry boo hoo. And none of them even notice. They all just walk out into the center of the town where there's no tree, hold hands, and start singing but whatever it is they're actually saying. And he's so confused by that what? But it came without ribbons, came without tags, came without packages, boxes, or bags. Like, what do you mean it still happened? What do you mean they're still happy? What do you mean this isn't something I just take? What do you mean it's not just about their presence and all that noise? There's something else here. And somehow I've missed it all these years. And for the first time in my life, I think I understand it. There's something beautiful here. And I genuinely love that. And Charlie Brown, for number one, like, there is some really funny writing in this. Just like that conversation old Chuck has with Lucy about, like, yeah, I never get what I really want for Christmas. Well, what do you want? Real estate. It's like, that makes me laugh. Like, I literally just watched this last night, but, like, I can't think of a lot of others off the top of my head. But there's, like, bits like that throughout that are just constantly making me laugh. I think another one is when she tried to get Schroeder to play Jingle Bells, and she's like, no, almost like that's like too classy, like that doesn't work. So then he plays almost a more like organ sounding version, and she's like, no, that's still not it. And then he just gives her this look like, I hate you. Dun 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 dun. Like, just, it's so sassy. It's a great special. Also, I'm sorry, just the freaking dance animations. Like, my one dude just cracks me up every year. Every year it's the same. Every year I play a shepherd. A genuinely phenomenal special. But one thing that really sticks out to me, I guess number one is also it's very aware of the commercialization of Christmas, which has really only gotten worse since this came out. But I appreciate Linus quoting scripture. Like, is there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? Like, sure, Charlie Brown, I'll tell you. Christmas is all about the birth of Christ. It is all about the miracle of the virgin birth of the Savior. This is what it's about. And as a Christian, as someone who I will describe myself as a man of faith, that's important to me. I guess it's one of the few specials I can think of. It's really the only one I can think of that actually keeps like Christ and Christmas. I guess you can argue Home Alone as well, because there's a big scene on Christmas Eve where Kevin like goes to church and he prays and then he talks to his neighbor, and it's a really good moment. Die Hard is one of my favorite Christmas movies. Like I saw it on like a streaming thing yesterday. I'm like, not gonna watch Die Hard until Christmas Day. Like, that feels right in kind of its own way. Hold up, let me drink some water real quick. Sorry, for once I actually remembered to bring water with me when I came out to record. But it's something that's very important to me. And sorry, I started talking again, and then like my brain hadn't quite caught up to my mouth yet. But I think what I'm trying to say is, like, yes, as like a Christian, I do appreciate a Christmas special that talks about the Christ part of Christmas. But part of it is also because I feel like that is kind of what the season is all about. Because, like, if you read scripture, if you read about who the kind of person Jesus was, he is someone who fundamentally cared about his fellow man. He is someone who would call out people when they were abusing their power and authority. And he is someone who, I want to say it, he is someone who would appreciate acts of faith and acts of kindness. Like, there's a point where a woman's like, I don't remember exactly what it was. I think she was like hemorrhaging and thought to herself, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, it's like he doesn't even have to look at me. He doesn't have to say anything to me. If I can just touch the hem of his garment, I will be healed. And he looks at her and goes like, that act of faith is incredible. Like, blessings to you. Or like when I believe it's the centurion goes up to him and tells him like, hey, like, we have someone, I think it was like someone was sick, if not dead, that, like, you don't even have to come with me. You can just say that she's okay, and then she'll get up. And he's like, okay, like, that is such a huge act of faith. Like, I respect that. Thank you. Yeah, she's good. You're up. Go. But, excuse me. Christmas is a season about that goodwill toward your fellow man. It is a season about kindness. It is a season about grace. And even if a lot of specials don't talk about Jesus, even if there is we got to put Christ back in Christmas because we've taken it out of Christmas, I feel like the spirit of it, the spirit of him, is still fundamentally there. And while there's a lot of Christmas elements I haven't super felt this year for various reasons, that fundamental aspect of wanting to be around people that I love and take care of people that I love, like the real Christ-centered element of it, is an element that I have felt this year. And I think that's kind of neat. So, I think that's what I want to say about Christmas. So, now I guess we gotta get to our regularly scheduled programming of me talking about my week and then me talking about the month of December. I guess I'll just talk about the month of December first, because I feel like that's relatively quick. Like, what did I do this month? I did book stuff. Like, I made some progress in Ayla, and I've posted some chapters. Technically, my next chapter is due to be posted tomorrow because I've been trying to post them like every other Friday. But I posted it early. I'm going to put a pin in it because I do kind of want to talk about that chapter for a little bit. But I posted it today. It's just sort of a like, yeah, you know what? Like, it's Christmas. It's done. Like, I can go and post it early. And also, it's the... I guess I'll take the pin out. Let me just talk about it for a bit. Like, this is not a happy chapter. And the idea of releasing this chapter in particular on Christmas Day is so funny to me. It's like a kind of a mean-spirited way, I'm not gonna lie. But it's like, this is the Christmas special. And like, nothing about it is Christmassy. It's just that, like, this is what came out on Christmas Day. There's this anime I watched a handful of years ago. What was it called? It was like The Hero is Overly Prepared or something like that. Which I remember watching it. I was like, okay. I'm not always the biggest fan of isekai shows. And I feel like it's like, this is a show that on paper falls into the trap of the things I don't like. But it's really funny. And I think because it plays it as a comedy rather than playing it straight the way that like Konosuba would, I enjoyed it a lot more than I probably would otherwise. Then we get to the episode that came out on Christmas, and it made me cry. Like, it was so depressing. I was like, oh my goodness. I was not expecting this goofy show to hit me the way that it did. Ow. And I'm not going to say that, like, my chapter's, like, to quite the level of that episode, but it's kind of similar. Like, you know, if you know, you know. But, like I said, it's not happy. There's a lot of just, like, emotional stuff that happens in it. And I didn't cry while writing it, but there was a moment near the end where two characters are talking, and one of them is not okay, but is doing his best to make it seem like he is. Be like, yeah, things are fine, blah, 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 blah. And then the other character just hugs him and doesn't say anything, just gives him a hug. And originally, I had written it where, you know, like, this person hugs him, and then he's kind of, like, joking, like, hey, like, you don't have to do that, I'm fine, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of a moment of him, like, kind of slowly lowering those defenses, and I think that can still work. But I kind of cut that part, where instead of, like, trying to have any kind of, like, facade or, like, being defensive, he just accepts what he needed in that moment. And I really liked it. Like, this is just a genuinely sweet moment between two characters. And it's why this is one of my favorite relationships that I've written. Not in any kind of romantic sense, like, that's very clear. But it's just like, I really love the way that these two interact with each other. Like, here, like, there's fun bits before, there's a lot of good shit later on. Like, I just like this dynamic. It will always be fun, it will always be, like, me personally, I don't find it to always be the most, like, complex. But I think it's consistently, like, heartwarming and consistently funny. And there are some moments later, like, near the end, where I'm like, okay, now, like, this is actually, like, really kind of interesting. So, yeah, Merry Christmas for that. I've also been really behind on writing the next chapter. A lot of it is, like, I know what needs to happen, and looking at the draft that, like, the previous version of it that I had written, I was like, sorry, I know what I'm trying to say, but my brain was just, like, blanking. So in the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, you have J. Jonah Jameson as played by J.K. Simmons, which I think a lot of people would say is like, this is probably just one of the best casting choices in any superhero movie. He's just absolutely iconic every second he's on screen. But there's that one bit where he's looking through a bunch of pictures Peter had taken. If I remember correctly, they're all like non-Spidey pictures. Just crap, mega crap. That's how I felt reading this particular chapter. I'm like, wow, everything about this just feels off. This character needs to be introduced here. I mean, I guess technically they could be introduced later, but I think introducing them here, fine. They are one of my favorite characters, so I'm excited to do it. There are some lines that I think are fun, and if I can incorporate them, like, I'll see what I can do. There's one line in particular that's, like, really important. Not from, like, big story foreshadowy reasons, just, like, a character thing. I can spoil it, it's not a problem. Where the main character says to his little sister, because I don't remember what the context is. I think, like, she swears. She doesn't, like, say fuck, but she... I'm sorry, I just realized, like, I'm saying fuck in a Christmas video. That's kind of funny to me. But... like, she says something, and he says to her, like, hey, like, no, badasses don't cuss. And that's, like, a recurring thing, like, he says to her that she'll say, which really is just him being like, hey, like, come on, kiddo, like, you don't have to swear, like, you don't have to, like, use those kinds of words to show how cool you are. And it's just, like, a little sentiment between them that I've always liked. So, like, it's, to me, it's always important to kind of keep that line. I'm like, yeah, well, that sucks. Like, I gotta rewrite a lot of it, and a good chunk of it I kind of have. It's just sitting back down and finishing it and getting to it, which I would like to do, but then there's the other big thing I've been doing in December. I've been playing Stellar Blade, and this game's really fun. So, I beat the game, I didn't finish the game. There's just a lot of stuff I didn't do in terms of platinuming, where it's like, I didn't get all the camps, because apparently there was one that I missed. But, like, I didn't get all the cans. I think I was missing, like, 9 or 10. And it was kind of that, like, if I really wanted to, sure. But I just kind of wanted to go ahead and finish. But now I'm doing, like, the boss challenges. I'm like, I want to beat every boss on hard. And there was one fight where I genuinely feel like I got robbed. I'm like, I should have beaten this boss, but I don't even want to go into it. To keep it short, I had the opportunity to do massive damage to the boss, but it was really far away. And by the time I got to the boss, its, like, stun window was done. And part of the reason it took so long to get to the boss is because the game just started chugging for a few seconds. I'm like, if the game didn't run like garbage for those few seconds, which is not a problem that I've had with the game, like, I could have done that, and then, like, I would have won. Like, I feel cheated in this particular fight. And then when I look at the final bosses, I'm like, I'm going to be honest, I just don't want to do this on hard. Could I? Maybe, theoretically, but even on normal, I find these, like, kind of challenging. So, I think I just want to beat Raven on hard, which is really hard. I'm trying, man. And I also got the DK DLC, because I thought it was, like, a separate thing that I could do, but, like, I have to actually find Scarlet in the game, which means I'll have to start a new game plus, which means I'll have to get to that point, which I think she's just in the wasteland, so that shouldn't be particularly long or particularly difficult to do, but it is a little bit of, like, I just want to be done, but there's genuine stuff that I want to do. But the game is really, really fun. Like, I've absolutely loved it. I'm so glad I played it. But, like, I talked about ZA, and that's, like, this is a game that's hard for me to put down. But it's partly because there's times where I'm having fun, and partly because it interacts with my ADD in a way where I'm like, okay, well, I can keep going. And with Stellar Blade, it's like, yeah, Stellar Blade also kind of interacts with my ADD in that way, but also it's a really fun game that I've been enjoying. So, like, that's great. That's awesome. Otherwise, what have I done in December? Like some Orichalcum stuff. Like, I reached out to some artists to, like, get commissions, and I've gotten a lot of those commissions back, and, like, I really like them. I posted them on a lot of my socials. I don't think I've actually just, like, thrown them on, like, here on YouTube. I might do that in, like, a community post. Like, yeah, here's a bunch of the art. Like, credit to the artist. Like, boom, 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 boom. I would like to do that. I should do that. I had mentioned that I had reached out to some people to review the book for their blogs. 3 of those I have gotten back. One of them I followed up with. Actually, there are 6 people who said they were interested. 3 I have heard back from. 3 are still pending. One of those pending 3 said it should be pretty early January. One of the other 2 had said that he prefers physical copies, so I waited to get a physical copy and send it to him. He's like, I do have it. So it sounds like I'm probably further up on the queue now, but it might still be a while. And the other one just kind of said, like, it's just when I get to it, I'll get to it. So I'm not expecting that one anytime soon. But of the 3 that I got back, they were all very positive, and, that just felt really nice, I'm like, yeah, I spent a lot of time on this. And I don't mean in a way where I'm like, look, man, like, I worked really hard. Don't criticize me. It's like, if there's problems, there are problems. But it was kind of a way where I felt like, even if it was not showing in, like, sales, my hard work paid off. Because, like, some of those areas where I was like, man, like, I'm really trying to get this part right. It seems like I did, and I'm really glad. Like, I'm really appreciative. So there's that. Oh yeah, I can also, like, oh yeah, and I have, like, movies and stuff. Like, Wake Up Dead Man was phenomenal. Did I play It Takes Two this month? That might have been November. It might have been, like, November and December. But that was really fun. Haven't played much Splitty Fitty, mostly because time I could be spent doing that. I'm playing Stellar Blade. And, like, I played a little bit of Claire Obscure. Every time I say it, I'm going to say it in, like, a French accent. It's not a good French accent, but I'm going to do it every time. And, like, the little bit I played, I thought it was really fun. But, Wake Up Dead Man was great. FNAF 2 was certainly a movie. Like, I'm glad I saw it, but it wasn't great, but it was fun. I haven't watched Anaconda, Fire and Ash yet. I don't know if I'm going to do that as a double feature. No, I won't, because Avatar is 3 fucking hours. There's another F-bomb in a Christmas movie. Or Christmas episode. Oops. But, like, I want to go see it because these films are visual spectacles. Like, they are absolute cinema, but I'm like, do I really want to watch 3 hours? It's like 3 hours and 19 minutes of a story I doubt that I'm going to like. Because I did not care at all about the second movie. And just from what I've heard, like, there was, I think Cameron did an interview where it was something along the lines of, like, we're going to be going in some different directions. We're going to be trying some new things, and audience members may or may not like it, which got me kind of excited. I was like, maybe this one's going to be really different. It's going to feel really different. So maybe it's one I'm going to really get into. But according to some of the reviews, it's like, no, it's really not all that different from the others. The biggest difference is, like, the Fire Queen lady is, like, you have an evil Na'vi, like, that's cool, but apparently she's not in the movie very much. Of a 3 hour, 20-minute movie, she's in 20 of those minutes, so then there's 3 hours otherwise. Like, that is a lot of time. Okay, Zootopia I think I saw in November. I mean, it felt like December because it was like the very end of November. There might have been something else, but that kind of sounds about it. It's like that was basically December, and like looking ahead to January, I think really what it comes down to is there's a whole like host of games. Like I gotta finish Stellar Blade. I would like to finish Bonanza. There's the ZA DLC, which was that December? Like that might have been, but that also feels like November. I might have finished it in like early December. But so ZA DLC, finishing Stellar Blade, Bonanza, Clair Obscur, because a friend of mine is we had talked about it. He's getting me that for Christmas, and I'm very excited. There might be one or two other things I'm forgetting. And at the end of the month is when Kai comes out. It's Trails Beyond the Horizon. And oh boy, I am excited to go into my Kaseki cave when that comes out. Like, aside from that, like, games, like, more writing stuff, like, with Ayla, there's probably some Orichalcum-y stuff I'm going to try to do, like some marketing. I'm probably not going to work on Orichalcum 2 for a bit, because I at least want to finish the first book of Ayla, and I'd say I'm about halfway through book 1. I don't know, that kind of sounds like January. I haven't really watched anything for several months, so I don't know, maybe I'll finally start up Victory Gundam again. I guess there's that. So I guess now I just talk about my week. Because I did the December part first. So like I said, like Christmas, I've kind of felt it, but not really, but also really, and I've gotten presents for my friends, and that's been nice. Oh gosh, the darkest day in Oklahoma. So I think it was last Friday. It was not a good day. Number one, I was sick. Like, I felt like really feverish. I'd been having headaches for a while. Like, my head just in general felt like really warm and kind of off. I didn't feel great. And Thursday, like, I kind of started feeling like this lump in my throat. Friday, I just felt bad. And I had work that day. And it's like, I don't get scheduled a whole lot anymore. So, like, if I have work, I want to be able to work. So I worked through it, which sucked, but I did what I did. Like, it was all good. It was fine. I'm like, okay, but now it's time for the Sooners playoff game, and like, I don't have access to the channel, but I can follow the game. All right, we took an early lead, 7-0. And next time I check, woohoo, we're up 17-0. That's good. That's a good 3-score lead. That is by no means insurmountable. I have seen a lot of teams blow a 17-point lead in college, NFL, etc. But that's a good lead. What do you mean the score is tied and it's now only halftime? What do you mean Bama scored, what was it, like 31 unanswered points or something? Like, what do you mean we lost? Well, OKC played. This will make me feel better. What do you mean they lost too? That's been their whole thing this season. They don't do that. What do you mean we lost 2 straight games? Because this was the game after that loss to the Spurs. I don't remember if it was necessarily the next day. I think like that game was like Wednesday or something. Like, and then we win our next game, which I don't remember. I think it was against the Clippers, who we beat the heck out of. And then not yesterday, I think it was Tuesday, we played the Spurs again. Which, if I remember correctly, I think it was after 3 quarters, the game was super close. I think we were winning after 3 quarters, and then we just got blown out in the 4th quarter. So, like, this was fun while it lasted. Now, to be fair, I guess, like, what I mean by that is, like, the whole, like, record chase thing. Could that still happen? Like, sure, theoretically. It's like, look, we still have more games against the Wolves, the Rockets, San Antonio, Like, we play them today for Christmas. We haven't played the Nuggies yet. I don't know regarding the East. Like, have we played the Pistons yet? I don't think. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But to my point, it's like we know the team does not feel as invulnerable. It's like, granted, there's only 4 losses, but that's 3 of the last 4. That's not great. This team could still theoretically get a record. They could still definitely win the title. And I had said before, it's like, yeah, I would much rather have like a go back-to-back than get the record. As cool as the record would be, I would rather have the championship. And I think a lot of Warriors players and Warriors fans probably say the same thing. But it's a little annoying where, I guess, not annoying, it is disappointing where I'm like, I'm kind of starting to build into the hype about it. Okay, that kind of feels done. But now we can focus on the other goal, which is arguably more important. And I think it's also good for the team to just not feel that that aura of invincibility. It's like, no, we can still be beat, especially by like certain teams that are like really good. Let's really look at the things that we can clean up and get better at and make sure that we do. So there's that. In terms of the NFL, the Saints won again. This is what, like 3 straight? This would be Carolina. This is 3 straight because that was the Jets, which, like, it's the Jets, but I think we beat them by like 23. Comeback win against Carolina. We beat the Bucs. It's, I think, 3 in a row and 4 of the last 6. Maybe it was 4 of the last 5. I'm like, huh. Oh, shucks. Tyler's looking good. Taysom had a really cool game, and looks like it's probably his last game in New Orleans. And that sucks. I'm gonna miss Taysom Hill when he goes and joins the Broncos. Like, man. This is like what I mean when I said, like, I don't have hope. I think I said this exact thing last week. I'm like, I didn't have hope for the season, but I wanted to have hope moving forward. And you could say, like, yeah, you beat the Jets, Carolina twice, and Tampa. Which of those teams is above 500? Fair point. But I also see, it's like, look, this is a team that could not, like, tie their own shoelaces. And now they've won 3 straight. And say what you will about Tampa and Carolina, we've beaten 2 teams, and like one of them twice, that are actively fighting for a playoff spot. And say what you will about Carolina, they've beaten Green Bay, they've beaten the Rams. They didn't beat San Francisco. I think they play Seattle this week. It's like they do have like some notable and impressive wins. And I know, like, Tampa, that very, like, cardiac first few weeks where, like, they looked really good, and, a lot of injuries have derailed that, of course, but it's nice to be able, because I think I had also said, it's like, I really want to see how do we look in division games. And early on, like, Tampa beat the crap out of us. Atlanta beat us, like, pretty easily. I don't think it was a blowout in terms of the scoreboard, but it was this is not, like, looking good. But winning the last 3 division games, and we got one more against Atlanta coming up, that's the kind of thing that does give me some hope. So we'll see what happens next year. I'm glad I don't have to go into the next couple weeks of the regular season going like, what bullshit gotta happen for us to make the playoffs? Like, I know we'll get beat up in the first round, but hey, man, if we get there, there's a chance. I don't have to have hope, but it's nice to have hope. So there's that. The Lions might be the only team I have ever seen score a game-winning touchdown with no time remaining on the clock. So not like, congratulations, you scored a game-winning touchdown, but you left 13 seconds, which happened to be enough kind of situation. Like, you genuinely scored a game-winning touchdown, and you lost. That was weird and wild. Now, I get it, because yes, like, if the defense commits a penalty, you get that, the offense gets that untimed down. If the offense commits a penalty, you're not supposed to, and I get that. But I feel like there should be an exception on a scoring play, where it's like, yeah, because here's the way I see it. It's, if the defense accepts that penalty, and they should, I feel like you should get an untimed down. Because if they decline the penalty, like, the game is over, the Lions win, like, the score counts. Like, with a score, I don't know, I feel like that should be a little bit different. Oh yeah, that Seahawks-Rams game, that's how the week started. That was insane. That was an incredible game. I'm sorry, just that they threw an incomplete lateral, and the successful 2-point conversion was one of the weirdest, funniest plays I've ever seen. And another of the weirdest, funniest plays I've ever seen also was a Thursday night game between the Rams and the Seahawks a few years ago. That was the double punt. I am a big fan of the double punt. This was just weird in the best possible way. Let's see. Jaguars, took it to the Broncos. So Jacksonville's only, I think, a game back of the 1 seed. Denver had a chance to clinch the 1 seed last week. It's like they needed a win and some other losses, and I don't think any of that happened. But it's just kind of, it's the kind of thing in football that's really interesting to me. It's like, you can be like, we can clinch the 1 seed today, and then next thing you know, like, you're barely winning the division. I think there was one year, I want to say 2014 maybe, somewhere in that range, where it was one of those years where the NFC South was really bad, and if I remember correctly, the Saints went into week 16, and it was, if things go a certain way, it's like, if you win and this other team loses, you will clinch the division. If you lose and that other team wins, you will be eliminated from contention. And just like how weird that is, I think even at just a few, it wasn't last season. I think it was 2 years ago. The Bills finished the season as the 2 seed. And it was just okay, Buffalo, depending on what happens, in this game against Miami tonight, you will either be the 2 seed or out of the playoffs. And just how weird is that? I don't know, I just find that fun. And just to huh? I get it, 1 through 4 is the division, and then it depends on the wild cards and, other tiebreakers and shit. It's just, and it's not just to look, you either win or you're out. It's just that sense of, you will either be number 2 or done. You will be number 1 or you'll be number 6. And then, just with the way the NFC has been, it's cool. The Rams were the 1 seed. And then because it was the Eagles, and then the Rams, and then the Bears, and then the Rams, and then the Seahawks. It has just been a revolving door. The Niners still have a genuine good faith chance to win the 1 seed. All 3 of those teams in the NFC West can. The Bears still can. No, Green Bay can't, because they can't catch Seattle. And can the Eagles get the 1 seed? Excuse me. Sorry. I'm not sure if Philly can, but I think they maybe can. That, I think it would just depend on tiebreakers. It's just so, I don't know, it's so chaotic. And I've seen the Bears go from being like the 6 seed to the 1 seed to the 7 seed to the 2 seed. But they're in the playoffs regardless. Like right now, when it comes to the NFC, it's Tampa and Carolina fighting for the South. Like they're fighting for the 4 seed. And you've got Green Bay and Detroit fighting for that other last playoff berth. Green Bay can still win the division. But if Chicago takes it, they're basically fighting with Detroit for the 7, maybe the 6, depending on how tiebreakers work. Anything else to really say? And then just the And the AFC, the field is pretty much set, aside from Steelers, Ravens fighting for the 4 seed, with it heavily favoring Pittsburgh right now, and then the Colts and the Texans. And I think I mentioned this last week too. It's like, 3 of the past 4 years, you've had an AFC South team with a really hot start and then just fall apart. It's just interesting how that happens. Yeah, I already brought up playing Stellar Blade and like it's really fun, and the Ayla Christmas chapter. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it after 55 minutes. That was me talking about Christmas. Definitely kind of rambling. And then December and my week. So, I've already done a Stellar Blade video. I did that yesterday. It was my Stellar Blade poem. I thought that was fun. But unless I do like an Anaconda thing, because I haven't watched, like I said, I haven't watched Anaconda or Avatar 3 yet. But unless I end up doing videos on one of those two, or I have a tentative plan to binge Sanda with a friend of mine. We kind of joked a while ago. It's like, hey, we should do that on Christmas, and I think we still are. So unless I do a video on one of those 3, I'll see you next year. See you.